Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle. I'm here today with Tarah and EJ Kerwin, and I could not be more excited to share this interview with you. These guys are very cool. They're very transparent. I want to be friends with them. I think you're going to dig them too. They happen to be the hosts of a podcast called Relationship Renovation. They also run a counseling center together out of Arizona, but we don't really talk about any of that. We just talk about them, their story, what they've been through, how they make it work, how they don't. They are vulnerable and transparent, and it was really exciting for me to learn from them. I think you'll enjoy it too. Before we get started, I want to remind you about a new feature that I've been rolling out over at our Patreon page. Turns out I have a handful of sort of go-to stories that I rely on in my client sessions to help illustrate certain points of view that I have. I've started to record them and post them behind the scenes over at Patreon. So if that's something that's of interest to you and you just want to kind of grab a nugget that you can use in your personal life or maybe in your professional practice, if you are also a therapist, you can find out more about that over at patreon.com/marriagetherapyradio. You can also go to marriagetherapyradio.com and click on the Patreon banner. Again, I remain grateful for those of you who are investing in keeping Marriage Therapy Radio on the air. Those of you who are chipping in monthly, just know that it means so very much to me. And now there's some extra treats for you behind the scenes. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. And I'm going to have a lot more stories coming up for you from the road. I'm speaking a ton this spring. I'm speaking in Orlando. I'm speaking in Indiana. I'm speaking in California. And I'm also going to Dallas twice because one of my kids has graduated from college and I get to go see her performance one weekend, and then we get to go see her actually walk another weekend. So coming into a super busy time, I'm excited to share things that come up for me. But for now, I'm going to let you get to know Tarah and EJ Kerwin. This is a very cool conversation. Stick around. Thanks for coming on, EJ, Tarah. You guys are in Arizona.
We are.
How's Arizona? Is it hot?
It's already
hot.
freaking hot.
It's already like almost 100 degrees yesterday. It's not okay.
Is that normal? Has that been that way for like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years?
We've been in drought since like the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hotter. It rains less.
But normally 90s don't happen until May. So it's just been a brutal
It rained
season.
once. Usually we have two rainy seasons. We have like the monsoons during the summer, and then we have a rainy season December, January, and it rained once during that second rainy season. So
I think I'm learning how to ask questions of folks our age. I'm assuming that we're all about the same age. I'm 51.
48.
But
52.
I'm learning how
I'm
to
the baby here. Okay, I'll stop.
Well, but even at 48, you're old enough. And this is the thing that I've been realizing. Like I'm old enough to remember things that were a lifetime ago. And I was an adult during that time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like, oh, that was a lifetime ago when I was in high school. It was like, that was a lifetime ago when I was 30.
Yeah. The 90s are a trippy time right now because that's like nostalgic and like Dazed and Confused-esque for younger people.
Yeah, I saw a meme or something about how if Marty McFly went back in time in the equivalent situation from now, it would be 1995. Like he would go back to 1995.
That's screwed up. How did it happen?
So who are you guys? You're EJ and Tarah, and you're therapists. Yeah. And what's that like? What's it like to be married to a therapist? That's always. I bet you get that question.
It's so funny. Yeah, I've been a marriage and family therapist for, 22 years. EJ became a therapist later in his life. But I just remember thinking, because I've been doing marriage counseling since I was 24, I was like, I am not going to get married, maybe ever. Or if I do, I'm just going to make sure like it's with someone who's so emotionally available, because I had just seen such suffering and I was scared of like making the wrong choice. So I feel like when I met EJ, because we were both colleagues together, we were specializing in eating disorders at the time. So we were working in a residential center. I was like, oh my God, he's like the coolest guy ever. He's like doing this amazing process work with teenagers on like a zip line who are struggling with anorexia. And he just was like, I mean, I've known a lot of therapists, but he made me in awe because he was just amazing. And then, I got lucky enough to start dating him after he had gone through a divorce. But yeah, I was just like, it was my first time really dating someone who understood the emotional piece. Like I always kind of dated guys that were more engineer type and not necessarily like emotionally available maybe, but not bad guys, just. So yeah, I really liked EJ's, I don't know, feminine side, emotional side. Now, how about for you, E?
I mean, being married to a therapist is, I don't know, just being a therapist and being married, I think is what I connected with originally, was just like that it feels like the whole authenticity thing seems like amped up on steroids, you know, and especially because we're marriage, in the marriage family field of like everything feels like we have to be practicing everything we're preaching.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it feels like, I don't know, a lot of pressure. I mean, sometimes I feel like, honestly, like in more difficult times in our life where like we were doing couples therapy together at that point, like co-facilitating, and Tara would literally say stuff like, how the fuck, how are you like saying this to people and then you can't do it yourself?
It trips us up for
and
sure.
It was like, and it was real, so, it's like, I feel like I have like a high standard to live up to, both in being an authentic person, but then also like to Tara, like of like, be like knowing how to be healthy and well and communicate and evolve myself. Sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure. For me, it feels like a lot of pressure, but I think I feel that way in a lot of aspects of my life.
Yeah, there's always that trust, though, that we're going to grow together, because that's what we help our clients do, and grow and become more insightful and aware through, whatever approach. And so I feel like that trust, that like no matter what we go through, at least we're going to grow together, because it's important for us to grow ourselves. So that trust feels really good even when we have the hard times.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to hear about the work that you do and what you've got going on. I do also want to pick your brains kind of behind the curtains a little bit, but let me just ask this question. When you're on an airplane and maybe you're sitting together, maybe you're not, and somebody says, "What do you guys do?" And you're like, "Oh, we're marriage therapists and we work together and blah, blah, blah." And then they say, "What's the secret? How do you make it work?" What do you tell them?
You have to, I never tell people that I'm a marriage therapist, because
They
that
want free
is
stuff.
like on the phone, like in the plane or whatever, because that's like my time to be off. I have really good boundaries now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will like have my ears full for 4 hours, and I just
do you have an alternate career that you say when they're like, "What do you do for work?" You're like, "What do you?"
I say I'm like the best mom ever.
Okay, all right.
And then sometimes I'll allude to our podcast or something, but I would say this, because we do have a lot of people like with friend circle or kids athletic groups, whatever. And we just say you have to be really comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like that's my biggest thing. Like the bravery that comes with getting through things and not withdrawing from them is so significant. I had to learn how to do it, because what I wanted to do was just leave. And so it's just getting really comfortable with being uncomfortable. And in our counseling center here in Tucson, we have this big whiteboard that says our patient or our partner is our greatest teacher. Be patient for the lessons. Because it's so true. Like I've grown so much because of EJ, but I had to be okay with very uncomfortable times in my body and my nervous system in our life.
I think it's funny, like when people ask me what I do and I tell them, they never ask what the secret is. They just start talking. They're like, "Oh," and then an hour later, and because I'm not in therapist mode, I'm not asking questions. I'm just nodding, and people just talk. They will just tell you. I mean, it tells you like how much people want to be heard, right?
Yeah.
Like how much they want to open up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Oh, thank God!" It's like I'm sitting next to somebody who knows how to listen.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So second marriage for you, EJ, is that right?
Yep.
And
correct.
First for you?
Mm-hmm, yes.
How long have you been married?
Gosh.
We've been married
13 years.
13, so 12 years married.
14 years together.
14 years together.
And I was 37 when we got married.
And I was like 40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 kids coming, and I had 2 boys. I had young kids.
Is that 4 total children?
Yeah,
now we had twins together.
On our honeymoon, we got pregnant with twins, and so it went from 0 to 4 kids under 5 in a year.
Yeah, Tara went from this like swinging
Just
single 37-year-old living her best life to like 2 stepkids, twins.
That had colic.
Business shortly after. Like that's a big part of our story. Is just like our life has been. We had this like amazing honeymoon-ish, year and a half where it was lots of fun and play. And then it's been like 15 years of freaking intensity.
12 years because the twins are 11. So like 11 and a half.
It feels like 15.
Yeah.
We haven't even been together for 15, 14.
Yeah.
A lifetime.
I had a couple come in once and I asked them how long they'd been together. And I think she said 10 and he said like 6 or something. I mean, it was not close. They did not, they weren't. And I was like, okay, I can see this is going to
Something's going on here.
be a thing.
Yeah.
So you're in the neighborhood. You're like in the teens. You have like an adolescent marriage.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It feels like that. We're trying to individuate.
Hey gang, checking in with you to see if you've ever felt overwhelmed or exhausted, distant or disconnected from your partner. I'm guessing you have, or else you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. We're always looking for ways to feel more connected. And I've got an idea for you. It's an app called Paired. It's an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationships. It was founded on the simple belief that real, lasting love is a daily practice. And I found that a lot of people expect that they should already know how to connect with their partner. But the reality is sometimes we just don't have a lot of practice. All of Paired's content is backed by experts and relationship therapists, and it's proven to work. Here's how it works. You and your partner both download the app, and then you pair together. And every day, Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, and games to stay connected, deepen your conversations, and have fun. The best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you've answered yourself, so it's a safe space to have open, honest discussion about your relationships. No faking it, no pretending, just genuine connection. I give this to newlyweds and empty nesters all the time, in part because they're just kind of out of practice, and it helps them make time daily to connect. Rebecca and I have used it quite a bit, and it helps us discuss difficult topics around finances, perhaps, or parenting, things that we just didn't know how to bring up from time to time. Our favorite thing, though, has become the games. There's games like Your Favorite Things or How Would You Describe Me? It's helped us to talk about sex and intimacy and even plan a vacation. So whether you're just a few dates in or you've been together for a very long time, find time to connect with your partner and nourish your relationship. Start strengthening your relationship in an easy, fun way, and it only takes about 5 minutes a day. Head to paired.com/MTR. You'll get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. Just head to paired.com/MTR to sign up today. Do you sometimes, like when you think about your relationship, you look back at things that kind of have shaped it? I call them before and after moments. Like, do you have one or two of those that kind of, before this, the relationship was like this, and then after this, the relationship was like that?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
Oh, I think about, I was living this.
Let me ask you this question real quick before you answer.
Yeah.
Do you think if I had you write down 3 each, that you would have the same list? Like 3 key before and after moments in your relationship?
I would think
that's a
one of them
question.
would definitely, I would assume, would be the same.
I've got 2.
I have one that's like pretty deeply personal, not personal, but it was like a big thing for me that relatively within the last couple of years. So it wasn't like a, so I think like one of them we would have the same, I would guess.
All right.
Is it the swimming pool?
Well, no. For me, that just the birth of the twins was like,
that's an easy one, right? Before and after kids, our relationship was like that. You should have already named it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so your swimming pool one and my like realization in the kitchen were very like sort of personal, but we've shared them with each other.
I mean, to me, it's the before is just like I'd always seen EJ in this easy light, like we're easy together. I loved the boys. We were with them 50% of the time, so we got to have our like fun movie nights and then have our own like trips up to Sedona. So it was just this like my nervous system felt very calm and easy. And then after
what?
When the twins were born, when we literally brought these 2 4-pound babies home, my nervous system has not, maybe will not ever feel that calm. And so it was like, for me, it was like whiplash. I went from this calm, safe place. To me, in the moment, it felt like total chaos and hell, actually, because I'd never felt so uncomfortable and busy and sleep deprived in my whole life. but I've been working on, in my own therapy for years to get back to a place of regulation. But yeah, so that mine's like whiplash.
I have a second, and the second one I got to kind of like ask you permission
That's
for.
okay. Yeah, of
You're
course.
cool.
For
I
the
don't know
record,
what.
obviously we can edit anything out. If you end up
Yeah.
saying something, you're like, yeah, I really don't like. You can tell me if you want, and then not tell America or the world if you
Okay.
want. Just you're allowed to just say, hey, let's
Sure.
not do that part. But
Sure.
I don't
Yeah,
want you
it's
to
okay.
edit yourself
Yeah,
on my behalf.
we're
Okay.
clearly
Yeah.
transparent. I
Okay.
trust you.
I mean, the first one is like a really personal one for me. The last couple of years, it was in the kitchen, and I think you had said it to me, but I hadn't like soaked in. And it was like we've had like significant struggles over the years, like really like heartbreaking, soul racking moments. And it was like that no matter what, I want you to be happy. And even if that wasn't with me. And that was like, that was really hard. That was like a big letting go
Yeah.
of the like, no matter what, I want you happy. And if it's not with me, it's okay. I mean, that's going to be, we'll be okay. But I would hate you to be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Because you stayed with me. So that, but there was like a huge release with that. And I feel like things got a lot better after I came to that place. And then the second one was
Man, take your time.
when we did the ketamine.
Oh, we did
That was a definite before and after.
There was a facility opening up in Tucson, and we always have in-services at our counseling center. We have a staff of like 15 of us, so we're always trying to bring in community resources and like knowing what's out there. So this ketamine clinic came in and they were like, oh, here's our resources. We want to start doing couples ketamine. And we were like, well, we don't really, unless we know what it is and understand it, like we don't really. So they're like, oh, well, you guys go through this process with us. And that way you guys have that experience of what it will be like so that we could be a resource if you wanted to recommend ketamine. I mean, I'm like terrified of drugs or anything like that. I just don't do that. But I felt like, oh, this is under the supervision of a medical director. And so EJ and I kind of went through 5 sessions of ketamine together, and stuff happened that we didn't, like stuff came out that it was just beyond, we didn't know. And so I think that changed a lot too. Like it was just.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the natural question I have is sort of how. Like, I'm interested in this kitchen moment, partly because it feels really resonant for you even now. But like, if you think about before and after, what was the relationship like before? What was the relationship like after?
I mean, for me, it was like so much like gripping, holding, trying to hold it all together, like trying to figure out how to react in stressful moments, how to protect Tara from, family dynamics with the ex, kids, money. It was like everything was about me trying to like control everything to somehow make her okay or make her happy.
And that's after, right?
That was before. I was trying to control everything.
Oh yeah.
And then and that was causing these problems because she saw me as like a monster at times and like scary and mad, and it wasn't that. It was just like I was just like putting like so much pressure on myself to like somehow make everything okay and maybe hide stuff or not deal with stuff. And so after it became like I just have to be like open, like I have to tell her, I have to trust that she can either handle it or not handle it, that if that we'll deal with it or we won't deal with it. It's still a process, but it was like
a trust.
Yeah, it was like a little bit of like weight off after that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know like what you noticed. Like
when was that? A year ago, 2 years ago, last week?
I would say it was like a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Not long.
The ketamine experience changed your experience towards me, and then it allowed you to have more compassion in those moments? I don't know.
I mean, it was. I mean, I
Which
don't
of
want to
those two that you've named, came first? Did you ketamine first and then
ketamine
have the kitchen
first.
thing, or the kitchen thing came first?
Ketamine was first.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it was like,
First. That's a great question. I never thought of that, actually.
it was mind-blowing to know what you had gone through.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, it was earth-shattering for you. It was earth-shattering for me.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I mean, you deserve to be happy.
Thank you.
The entire world has the same question, which is, what did you go through? Which, of course, you can speak to or not.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I haven't talked about this in so long. Well, so, I mean, I'm just going to kind of start. When I was really young, I have a twin sister, Sarah. And we always, we had a pretty bad environment, a lot of trauma, a ton of neglect. And I just always knew that I wanted to be a helper of some kind one day. I mean, I'm a therapist for a reason because I always had this resilience when I was younger. I started working when I was 8 just to feed my sister and I. I would mop floors and go get us food at the gas station. So I was always like, okay, I'm just really strong, really resilient. I've worked with a ton of clients, right, with trauma and anxiety. Just not knowing, I didn't know, I knew I had bad things happen to me. I didn't quite know how much I was dissociated from my trauma until ketamine. I think when you're younger, when bad things happen, I didn't know that your brain can literally cut off experiences. And so I'm going through, it was 5 sessions. And the first session, I was like, EJ, right, is next to me. And he's on this rocket ship. He's like, this is so cool. And I'm like, oh my God. Because ketamine basically punches out your gatekeeper. So no matter I was trying to not cry because I wanted to cry, but I wanted to caretake EJ because I wanted him to have his rocket ship experience. But you can't. You can't use the normal defense mechanisms or systems that you would normally use. So I just started crying. And the first session was all about me protecting my twin sister because she looked more like my biological dad. So my stepdad would beat her worse than me. And I would be standing outside of the bedroom, let me go into my sister. So this first ketamine was I just want to protect her. And I've held on to that over functioning for her for so long. So when I got out of it, I was just like, oh my God, she's good. She's healthy. She's awesome. She's a teacher. She's got an awesome husband. I don't have to hold on to that anymore. So it was almost like this terror, the ketamine let me feel it. I didn't know how big it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, that was amazing, right? To fast forward sessions 3, 4, and 5, I'm thinking, where's my rocket ship moment? I'm ready for this. I'm ready to ooh, I'm all with God now, whatever that feeling is. And I kept going deeper into trauma. So the first one, I was 8, then it went to 7, then it went to 4. And one of the biggest things that happened and that I didn't know was I woke up from this ketamine and I was screaming out this name, and they were like, who is that? I'm like, I have no idea. So I don't talk to my mom a lot, but I called her and I was like, Mom, who are these people? I don't even remember them. She's like, oh, I used to, you and your sister used to stay there a lot because they would watch kids. It was a children's motel. And there was a ton of, what would you call it?
Just institutional abuse. I mean, just
Yeah, so I would have these things remembering that I was in a closet with old men. And so then I called my twin sister and I said, do you remember this place? And she's just like, I remember that you would be napping a lot. They'd have you behind a door and you would be napping a lot. And I said, Sarah, really bad things happened. It's 5 or 6. And so then like, I'm so glad it happened because, like, all of these puzzles came together, like lighting, certain floor textures. Like, my whole life, I would, like, try to avoid certain lighting, and so it started putting pieces of the puzzle together, like the sexual abuse that happened, and even, like, in my intimacy with EJ. But it was, like, too much too fast. It's almost like I did this 5 sessions ketamine in 2 months, and my little body just got flooded and overwhelmed. So since then, I've been doing a ton of trauma therapy and IFS work and EMDR and DBR, and it's been amazing. So I've been able to integrate all of the pieces. But it's just like I didn't know what I didn't know, and I'm so happy I know it now. But that has just created this again, like more compassion for me, patience for EJ.
Made like things like I would get so upset and frustrated, like if I don't have if I would wear like a certain shirt, or why the house had to be so clean, or like all these things that felt like control to me. And I knew they were anxiety, but I didn't get it. And that just like freaking like blew the doors open, obviously for her, but also for me, and just like understanding what's going on, and then having a framework for being able to like just understand like inane moments of like wearing a pair of pants and like feeling like she's like disgusted by me, that it's not that she's disgusted by me, like there's like stuff going on.
Yeah, just this. And I mean, and then, I mean, as a therapist, right? Like, I've worked with so much trauma, and I feel like I've done great work. I do like a lot of CBT work and like inner child stuff, but like it opened up a whole new, because I truly didn't recognize, like, had I not done that ketamine, Zach, I would have gone my whole life not knowing. Like, it was so tucked away because it was like really bad. Like, I thought I was gonna die. You know, I'm 5 years old, 6 years old, and I literally think I'm gonna die. Like, of course I'm gonna dissociate. I don't have the brain to deal with that. But it has just, I mean, I just want to know everything now. I read every book. I go through every treatment modality I can just to make sure I get to have that experience to help others. I know that I'm not quite at the end of my journey, but I do know that I will start specializing with sexual abuse victims when I'm through my journey. So that's really like such a great like resource that I can do. And I think this, like, I feel like the universe, God, however you want to look at it, it gave me this at the time where I can now, like, I wouldn't have been able to do this 7 years ago when the twins were 3 or 4. It's like the time is now, and it's so great. But I just feel like everything we've gone through, it's so we can figure it out and create that safety together, and then grow and then help others. Because, you know, when we drive past our counseling center and you see couples hugging out in the parking lot, I'm like, yeah, that came from like us, like me wanting to get in the minivan, divorcing you because it was so hard. But I was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I love this man. I'm not going to leave him. And right, like, how 8 years later in our counseling center, we help hundreds of couples a week. And it was just because of this, like, we didn't give up on each other. And so we figured it out as much as we could and built this place in our community so that couples have a chance. Because when you have 2 therapists that are breaking down, like, that's the thing I said to EJ, like, we've got to help other people. Like, we have to figure this out ourselves. This is really hard, this transition, but like, we have the skills and a lot of people don't. So let's figure this out.
This is all the suffering that's behind every other door. You know, there's some variation of our story. You know, it's different people and different trauma and different, you know, it's like nobody know, you know, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that like we do the podcast and everything else, because we're, for whatever reason, willing to put it out there. You know, this is deeper than we normally go, but we're willing to be transparent about what's going on behind our doors, because of the fact that we know what's going on behind everybody else's doors, because we've been therapists and we've sat and we've heard these heartbreaking stories or these super frustrating stories or these whatever, is like everybody's got crazy shit behind their door, but nobody freaking knows. I mean, everybody just, for the most part, a lot of times everybody assumes everybody else is like living, this fantastic life that they're not.
Yeah, I see that a lot. Before I try to transition, Tara, thank you so much just for being willing to, I don't know, give that to me, to us. I just want you to know that I heard you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And it sounds really terrible. It sounds really, really terrible.
She's like the strongest person I've ever met in my entire life. It's like, it's crazy. It's just, I've never met somebody so incredibly strong.
Thanks.
Mind-blowing.
Did you know that right away? Like when you were first meeting her?
No. I knew she was radiant. I mean, Tara lights up every freaking room she goes into. Like, kids beg to stay over our house every weekend. And I'm like the Scrooge. I'm like the asshole who tries to keep them out. And the kids, every room she walks into, the first time she ever walked into a room, I remember it still. I remember at the counseling center in the staff room, she walked in and I was just like, who is this woman? Like, she is just like, she's beautiful. She's radiant. She's fun. Like, everybody wants to talk to her. Everybody wants to be a part of her. I mean, that's what I was like. She is like literally she is a star, like everywhere she goes, like, and it just, people revolve around her. And so, no, I had no idea. I just knew that she was just this captivating, fun, funny, goofy, what was Lucy, Lucy Arnaz, like stepping in the grapes. Like one time, one of the first times we like went down to the grocery store from our work to get lunch, and we're like walking through the produce section. She picks up like an orange bonnet pepper, which is like this insanely hot pepper, and just like, I think she was like kind of trying to impress me, kind of being like, oh, I'm like, whimsical, throws it in her mouth, and then is like coughing for the next 45 minutes. Like, that's just her. She's just like this amazing, sparkle.
Yeah. Well, yes, until, right? Because like before I could manage my life like that, like in my other relationships before EJ, like if it started to get really real, I'm like, the grass is greener.
Yeah.
This has been great. But so that's what happened. Like when it happened and then I was in it and we were 4 kids in it, there was no escaping. And so I had to be in my trauma nervous system for the first time before I could escape it. And I'm like 37 now, like 38 or whatever. And so it was just, that part of me was gone. And I was like, and I blamed EJ for bringing it on. I'm like, how dare you? Like, I didn't sign up for this. Colic twins? Like, this has to be your fault.
Well, and that's been the hardest part for us at times, is like, is that, and she misses that aspect of herself that was a lot more carefree and all. And then, but then so she's got separated from it. It coincides with us getting together. I miss those aspects of her at times. I feel like I've fucking squashed them out through my life. And so that's been really hard, because like it's, you're like rediscovering your lightness and your joy and all that,
But I'm doing it with you. That's
I'm glad you are.
Yeah.
What about EJ? What was the thing? What did you notice? Who was he when you were becoming aware?
Well, I was just, at first I was like, he's just the most amazing, emotionally connected person. I feel so safe with him. And then when I started to be overwhelmed, he like backed away Like he just went away. And I was like, what's happening? I thought you were like this Buddhist, like all being, like you can handle everything, but you can't handle me. So then I felt like a monster, right? And little did I know about, EJ's always kept it together for his family, even when he was young. Like he was, rage and stuff. Like I can't feel that. And so I said, you can't go away from me. Like, I can't feel like a monster either. Just because I'm going through this, like, I need you to be present and you're avoiding, and he was like, no, I'm not. I'm totally not defensive. I'm like, yes, you are. Like, trust me, I know. And it just took like years of that. And then when EJ started doing his own therapy, recognizing his own avoidance that he wasn't even aware of, but that wouldn't work for me because I needed someone to let me be me and let me experience all of it and let me go through my highs and lows. And that like, if I'm going to be in a bad mood this morning, you don't have to like take care of that. Like, just let me be me and don't try to fix everything. And I think, the negative core belief for you was like, I can't be me. And I was like, EJ, you can be you. Like, don't try to fix everything. I've got this. I can handle this. So it was that he went away from me and that was the hardest thing in the whole wide world. But then he showed up for me by doing his own therapy and being more present. And you would think the way he does therapy, like, because he's so good that he had no idea how avoidant he truly was to the first sign of conflict or uncomfortableness. Like, if I'm experiencing discomfort, EJ would be like, what can I do to like make sure that you're not uncomfortable because I can't handle discomfort. And now he's like, it's all good. Like he can handle discomfort. He's sharing more feelings with me, which I love because I can handle it. Right. I'm the strongest person right? So you got to trust me with all your feelings. So I think for the first time ever, EJ's starting to share his vulnerable feelings and not having to be the Buddha keeping it all together, which I love.
Motherfucking Buddhist. That's what she called me.
It did. I was like, I need to see something.
Your twins are 11?
Yeah, boy, girl.
And your kids are how old, EJ?
16 and 18.
What do they think? Like the twins in particular, like what do they think about you guys? If I said, hey, tell me about your parents, what would I learn?
I love that.
I think they adore us.
Yeah.
But they think we're a little nutty. Don't you think they think we're a little nutty?
I wouldn't say that.
No?
They think we're fun. We're just like, weekends are filled with kids, activities. They see us playing like our Yahtzee together and having somewhat quality time. I would say they would say we need to have more quality time together.
Yeah, I mean, I would, it's hard because like I'm trying to figure out like 11-year-old mind or like when they're adults and they look back on it. I mean, they'll have definitely seen us struggle.
Yeah.
But trust that because like JoJo, he's super sensitive and he'll like, if he feels the first sign of discomfort, he'll try to caretake us.
Stop it.
And I say, JoJo, honey, mommy and daddy, we've got this. You go be a kid.
Yeah.
We always work through this. Couples argue. And guess what? We've been arguing for over a decade and we always work through it and we feel more connected. So now when we argue, it's so much less now, like when we go through our stuff, but Joe like doesn't try to caretake us. He trusts now that conflict is okay. Is it still uncomfortable? Maybe, but, and then Mia Ray, she's kind of, I feel like Joe's more of like you trying to like keep the peace and Mia Ray is just more of like that poking the bear. But I think that they trust, I guess to go back, I would say that they feel really safe and that's huge.
Yeah.
They feel really safe. Like if Mia's having something hard at school, she'll call me from the school like, hey mom, this is happening. What I really want to do is leave. And I'll say, you can handle this, babe. You got this. She was diagnosed with OCD, so it's been really hard for her.
Yeah.
She's got more of that rigidity, but she's done so much amazing work. And so I just feel like they feel safe. They also think we're, nutty at times, I'm sure, but not in a bad way.
I think they trust us.
No.
What grade are they in?
5th grade.
Yeah. I hold a theory that 4th grade is the beginning of consciousness. Like if
Ooh.
I said to each of you, like, tell me about your childhood, you would start to locate stories around 4th grade. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of when you start to make sense of who you are. It's like kind of when you make sense of yourself. And then when you start to think about like, who are your parents? It's typically middle school. So if I said to you guys, like, who are your parents? You would
Ooh.
begin describing to me, the narrator would be 12, 13, 14 years old, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this window of time for people, I'm always really interested in because it's like right here between 4th grade and middle school when they're starting to form
Yeah.
their articulatable notions, right? Like we
Yeah.
form our attachment notions for sure when we're younger, but here is they're starting to put words to it. So I'm always interested to say, like, what would they say? And then of course I want to know, like, what do you want them to say? Particularly if they're in therapy like 10 years from now,
Yeah.
the kids, and they say, hey, what was it like growing up in your house? Because here it comes. This is the time.
For me, the number one thing is like, because I never got this, like even today, my daughter was using too much hairspray. And I was like, like, why are you using all that hairspray? She's like, Mom, that really hurts my feelings when you judge me. I'm like, you know what? I'm so sorry. You're right. I still have a boundary around how much hairspray you can use, but like that I take accountability when I get it wrong and I apologize and try to repair quickly when I do get it wrong. Like, I love that they can see that we're not perfect and that I apologize. So I would, if in 10 years, fast forward, like, my parents, like my mom always, I can't speak for you, but my mom always said she was sorry when she was not her best self. And I do. And then I also try to, not have them be responsible for our stuff, right? Like, you go be a kid. Like, you go worry about that. Don't worry about this. We got this. Because you can see little kids trying to like caretake and control things. So I feel like I try to, as much as I can, as much as I know, to give them the freedom to be who they were born to be, not who I want them to be, out of my judgment. But I get it wrong sometimes, like with the hairspray thing, or if the shorts are too short, right? But I also know I have a empowered voice to have boundaries, and that's okay too. Sorry, I just talked a lot.
I think I would just want them to say that they trusted us, that they liked us, and that they felt like safe, that they weren't scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have the seeds are planted, or at least those things are in place. That feels like the home they're growing up in. Yeah.
I think so. I think the accountability thing is huge. I think we both very quickly hold ourselves accountable when we transgress.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's either of us got much of that.
And we asked him the question because EJ runs a boys' camp back east in Maine every summer. So it's like his 17th summer. So our kids have always been like at camp, sleepaway camp. And, we're talking about like, hey, would you guys rather be with us and hang out like in a family summer home or be away at the sleepover camp? And they're like, we'd much rather be with you. So I'm like, that's kind of winning, right? Because if I was asked that question when I was her age, I'm like, get me away for as long as possible. So I guess that's like a little validation right there that they'd rather hang with us and be at a sleepaway summer camp all summer.
Yeah. On the form that you didn't get, I ask, how would you rate your relationship right now on a scale of 1 to 10?
That's that's the load.
I mean, I have my number, but I was like going to let you.
Want to say it on 3?
Let Zach count us down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
7.5.
8
All right,
and
so
growing.
we're at 7.75 is the
I love it.
Is the average. Okay, but here's my follow-up question. Why isn't it lower?
For me, because we're both doing so much work to feel connected, to have our family be the family that feels good and connecting and loving to us. The work we do in our center, on our podcast, it's just like my heart is so full that, and we still get stuck places, but we help each other get unstuck. And yet there's still room. I would never want to be a 10. That's so boring, right? Perfect is boring. But that we're just always growing together every day, no matter what that day looks like. Like, that's why it's not lower, even if it's uncomfortable or we're going through financial difficulty because you own 2 businesses and it's really hard. Like, it's still an 8. It feels good.
Yeah.
8 and growing.
Yeah.
To 9.99999.
I think it's not lower because we've come a long way.
Mm.
We've come a long way.
And you have wind at your back.
Yeah. And then this was like another sort of realization I had close to that kitchen moment was like, I'm just grateful to be with her right now. I'm grateful for what we have right now. And I do think that there's things that we both want in our relationship that we're moving towards that are going to move us up that scale. But if this was it, that's fine. You know,
Acceptance versus resignation.
Yeah, I'm accepting where we are. I'm pretty, if what I have with her right now is all I get, then I'm grateful to have that.
Love that.
I like asking that question. People usually think like, why isn't it higher? And then they get to talk about the problems. And I'm like, no, why isn't it lower? And then they can talk about like the wind at their back. And I'm like, that's really good news. All that, what you just said is like really good news related, even if it's a 3 and it's not a 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's so funny because when we do like consultations with couples before they start going to our center, and it's like a 30-minute, right? And they're telling everything what's wrong. Here's what doesn't. And then I'll be like, what does work about you guys? Like 18 years together. And they're like frozen. Like, I haven't thought about that ever.
Yeah.
But it's such like a nice shift because it's like, well, we know where you don't want to go, but like what has worked? So I love that question.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I like you. I like your story. I'm glad to have it. I really feel honored that you were willing to be vulnerable with me and with the universe. So, yeah, I really appreciate you just sitting down and telling me a little bit more of what it's like to be married to a couples therapist or married to a therapist or just married to each other.
No, thank you for the gift of having us on and talking. Like I was
feeling safe enough to there's not many, right, people I would feel safe with interviewing me to share that. Trust me.
Well,
and from the minute like I got the email kind of saying like what you were thinking of doing, it felt like, oh, that's going to be nice. You know, and I think it's like that. I think that for me, the best feeling is being who I am, you know, being authentic. And it was like, it felt like it was an opportunity to just like, I don't have to like be thinking about the marketing or the promotion or the how do I tie. But this person actually just wants to learn about me, about us. I mean, I think it's part of like why people love go to therapy. You know, it was just like, okay, I just get to be me and I get to be honest.
Right on.
And that feels nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for the tears today, Zach.
Right on.
Yeah, I feel lighter.
I know, me too.
All right, man, that was amazing. Thank you so much to Tarah and EJ Kerwin. I think I'm going to be a guest on their podcast, which is exciting for me, just to continue to stay in conversation with those guys and build our friendship. I want to thank, again, those of you who are supporting Marriage Therapy Radio through Patreon. It means a lot. I hope that you'll consider coming on board with monthly support. And I'm committed to giving you what's going on behind the scenes for me and my personal and professional thought life. And I also want to thank paired.com for sponsoring this episode. If you're looking for a way to stay connected, go to paired.com/MTR. That's a great way to support Marriage Therapy Radio. And again, I remain grateful. So I'll thank you for the time and attention you're putting into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.